West of Cannleton is Tell City. Lots of modern conveniences, restaurants, hotels, and even a Walmart. It's where I stop for restrooms and pizza on just about every trip along the Ohio River. Tell City has a nice waterfront and bike trail, a playground, murals depicting its long history, which started with Swiss immigrants in 1857. They originally called the town Helvetia. Which brings us to this mural of an apple with an arrow through it, and where the story gets weird, but in a fun, Southern Indiana sort of way. Non-Swiss people could not pronounce Helvetia to save their life, or didn't want to, and it's a given they couldn't remember it. So the Swiss colonists decided to rename their town to something easy to say and remember: Tell City, after their folk hero, William Tell. In case you're unfamiliar with the Swiss folk heroes, Tell City has a museum to catch you up. And here's a picture that breaks it down. We start with a Swiss town ruler named Albrecht Gessler. He's kind of a dimwad. He gets a pole, sticks his hat on top, and demands that everyone bow down to it as they enter town. Here's our hero William Tell, a legendary tough guy with mad crossbow skills, who comes to town and refuses to bow down to the silly hat on a pole. He and his son are both subsequently arrested. Bad guy Albrecht tells them they'll both be executed unless William can shoot an apple off his son's head in one shot with his crossbow. These are soldiers, probably saying, $5 says that kid is toast. Concerned mother here, regretting William's father and son outing, where they got arrested. Then again, similar things happen in Southern Indiana all the time. But I digress. To cut to the chase, William takes the shot. He splits the apple on his son's head without incident. It's all good. In William's hand are 2 more bolts. Albrecht then says, "So, what's up with the 2 bolts in your hand?" And then William says something cocky. Something like, "If I missed, the next 2 were going in your head." So Albrecht decides William should not walk away free with that kind of anger, and sends him on a ship to a castle where he will spend the rest of his life in a dungeon. Out on the ocean, a huge storm breaks out. They remove his shackles so he can help guide the ship to safety. He instead wrecks it on a rock, bails like a superhero, and you probably guessed it, shoots Albrecht dead. William is proclaimed a hero for killing the bad guy, and a war for freedom ensues. It's sort of like Die Hard if Bruce Willis had a crossbow. Yippee-ki-yay. Well, that's kind of the story. I took some liberties. And that's why they call it Tell City. If you go to Tell City High School, the students are named the Marksmen Because if you're gonna be cool, be William Tell cool. At the heart of town is City Hall. And in front of it, a bronze statue of William Tell and his son. You can sit at the gazebo and admire it on a nice day. There's also a large apple with a crossbow bolt through it. And if you come back at night, it lights up a beautiful red. Really neat small town history. Back at the museum, you can also take in the History Research Library. Tell City School memorabilia. Military history. Artifacts from the past. Including a huge rocking chair. And here's a fun fact. The steamboat Tell City, built in 1889, traveled up and down the Ohio River for almost 30 years before it sank in 1917 at Little Hocking, Ohio. Somehow, the pilot house was saved, and you can still see it at the Ohio River Museum in Marietta, Ohio. It's the oldest surviving pilot house in America. The museum continues in the basement. In case you didn't know, Tell City furniture has a huge reputation and has been a staple industry of the town. You can see a variety of antique tools. Artifacts from local businesses. And a hair salon. And here's another fun fact. After over 100 years of history, in 1959, Tell City created a festival called Schweitzerfest. Today, it's one of Indiana's longest running and most popular festivals. Tell City. Cool Swiss history, pretzels, pizza, big festival, and William Tell. All here, only in Southern Indiana.